Okay, picking up right after the video, some other statistics that I found from the Scholastic website. Children's reading frequency has been fairly steady since about 2010, but recently it's been on a slow decline over the years. This was taken from 2015. So you can see the darker red is frequent readers, those who read books for fun 5 to 7 days a week. Then the lighter pink is moderately frequent readers, 1 to 4 days a week for fun, which seems to be the bigger percentage. So, yeah, 1 to 4 days a week. And then the gray is the infrequent readers, those who read books for fun less than a day a week. And that is it's the lowest percentage, but it's still pretty high numbers there. We still definitely need to get our students increasing their reading for fun. So, what can we do? How do we establish a reading culture? What does that entail? Reading promotion displays around the school, and that can include in the entrance foyer, slogans, posters of children reading, promoting the library, and possibly having the principal get involved with like a book of the week or a book of the month, something that you can see other authorities besides teachers in your school being included in that. Reading in the corridors, like footprints to the library was an idea. How many steps does it take to get to the library? And toward the library, even on notice boards, the hours, book reviews, and quotes about reading. And then another point was the principal's office, where you can find other posters again and quotes and resources for parents for helping children be readers. Reading promotion in staff rooms and classrooms, which we'll get into within the next slide. Encouraging all teachers to include fiction in their classrooms, which could be just a little bit difficult. We normally associate books to being with just the English teacher, the language arts teacher, but trying to encourage the science teacher and the math teacher to find lists to include fiction in there. Maybe they're on a specific topic, and we can talk about science fiction books about what chemistry labs gone wrong. This is something that you can read if you are interested in something like this, and even having the librarians get involved into making lists like that, I think could be a good collaboration. Taking time every day for the whole school just to read, so the sustained silent reading. While I know sometimes that may not be feasible, but at least with like the video we were watching before, their school was 15 minutes every morning, and it didn't take too long, but that's one way that they encourage it, and making sure that the teachers are following that policy as well. And then just celebrating reading as an important activity. So making sure that's encouraged and that there's a positive view on it. So in the classroom, encouraging teachers to bring fiction into their classroom, even if they don't teach English, which we hit on. Having information about the library located somewhere on display. So sometimes we just need to have those resources posted, especially if we are doing some type of research project. It's good to have that somewhere so a student can look it up and know what's going on. Having books on display. So maybe even just having a small classroom library. I know it's more common for elementary schools. In high school for myself, I only had one teacher who had her own classroom library and allowed her students or anybody to come check out any book that they wanted, and she would just write it down, and as long as we returned it, we were able to get another one. And then sharing your own reading experiences. So again, encouraging teachers to bring their experiences back into the classroom, and finding a way to relate it to their topics. So getting to the hub then, in the library, what does that look like? A librarian who reads and is competent on the topics their students like for recommending. So keeping up to date with the literature that the students want and knowing what's best to recommend for other students. Access to books that students want to read, so making sure that those are still available. We might know what they want to read, but not having them is also different. Encouraging teachers to read and model that behavior. So going back to like the sustained silent reading, making sure teachers know that this isn't a study hall. This is the time where you need to be reading, and it's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be homework. It's not supposed to be something they're going to be quizzed on later. It's just for fun. Open to adapting programs, so knowing what your students like and being able to adjust that from year to year, program to program, so you are getting the most engagement out of your students. Creating a safe and welcoming environment. So knowing that you can have any student come in and not feel like that they're going to be hounded for picking out a book. A well-resourced library, so again, making sure that you have access to books and other resources that students want. Inclusion in visitor tours, so bigger schools that do have visitors coming in to see what the school is like, making sure that they are included and knowing where the library is. Being used for events, so not just keeping it just for reading and for resource stuff, making sure that they're also included in some of the stuff for the school. And being collaborative with other teachers, which we've talked about before, and knowing that there is a library there, it's there for use, and librarians can be a great resource for finding information and learning something new. So part of the interactive part here is joining the discussion. I set up a private discussion board for us to use when talking about reading culture and our experiences with it. This is the link. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I've already started part of the conversation, some questions to get everybody going, and my answer to those questions. So feel free to ask some questions on there. I'll check it. I get notifications in my email when a new comment has been made, and bouncing off each other and what we're doing now to create a reading culture and why we also think it's important beyond what I presented here. So thanks. If you have any questions, you can use the discussion board like I said. You can message me on Canvas or talk with me in class. I'm happy to answer anything that I can. Thank you for listening.